The only way we can get rid of this terrible, terrible tax, this carbon tax, which does nothing for our environment, it's a job-hurting, family-hurting tax, is by electing my friend Andrew Scheer as the next Prime Minister of Canada in 2019. My friend Andrew Scheer. My friend Andrew Scheer.
So he's got the media on his side, he's got the pundits, he's got the academics and think tanks, everyone who wants to lecture you about how to spend your own money and how to live your own life. But we've got something he doesn't have. We have the people. We have the people.
We have the people.
We have you.
My friends, you know me. I'm for the little guy. I'm for the people. My plan is to create great paying jobs and nobody will be laid off. Our plan is to reduce and get rid of hallway healthcare. My plan is to bring honesty, integrity, and transparency back to the government and keeping promises, not breaking promises, not saying one thing and doing something else.
Well, I'm going to make sure that we have proper funding, proper resources, proper schools for any children with autism. We will be there to support you 1,000%. What I can tell you one thing, I promise you, you won't have to be protesting on the front of Queen's Park like you did with the Premier here.
Billed as the largest autism protest in Ontario history, about 1,000 or so families showed up here to voice their displeasure with the Ford government over its changes to funding for autism therapy.
Never underestimate a parent fighting for their child!
You have a picture of the Premier from the City News debate. Why is that?
So back in that debate, he said that we wouldn't be standing where we are today, unfortunately.
And where are we?
We're here at Queen's Park.
He said he would be with us 1,000%, and that under his leadership, parents and families affected by autism would never have to be on the lawn, but here we are.
Tell me what you had everyone chanting earlier.
Yeah, I may or may not have had them chant Doug Ford's a liar.
Doug Ford's a liar! Doug Ford's a liar!
No, Scheer is actually trying to distance himself from Doug Ford's unpopularity. Been asking for, you can expect him to make a lot of stops in this area. Be happening. Yeah, they are going to meet.
I am sorry. I was trying to meet you. We've been trying to get this meeting. Yes, one, but it's not just autism that I'm trying to ask. I'm talking about Disability Act and Autism National Strategy. What is your plan? We can't wait. And I just keep going, we'll see later, we'll see later.
It's going to happen.
Families will not have, and Northern Ontario,
no services for 800 kids.
We're desperate. We can't help. It's not about following. How are you planning to follow up? Please help us now.
Okay, so this is the photo op that Andrew Scheer is hoping to avoid on the campaign trail, hoping that the unpopular cuts and changes to services that Doug Ford has been making will not impact his campaign. He has stopped to talk to this mother against Lisa MacLeod when she was the social services minister. So
Mr. Scheer, we tried to just ask Ms. McCaffrey a question, but she left without taking any questions. So did you ask her? I'm assuming your team would have known that she did have a friendship with Faith Goldy, and given the controversy around Faith Goldy, did your team ask her if she's still friends with this individual?
I understand that Justina has addressed that issue here this morning. She has put out a statement that addresses that. So I'll let that speak for itself. And look, as long as someone takes responsibility for what they say and addresses the fact that in 2019 some things that may have been said in the past are inappropriate today, that if anything that they've ever said in the past caused any type of hurt or disrespect to one community or another, and have apologized for that, I accept that. I accept the fact that people make mistakes in the past and can own up to that and accept that. Wearing brown face is an act of open mockery and racism. It was just as racist in 2001 as it is in 2019.
When it comes to this is part of the motion that requires, I believe it's the Committee on Canadian Heritage or something to that effect, to produce instances of Islamophobia within 240 days of the motion being adopted. Or you're thinking, hold on a second, you're necessitating a result as opposed to just asking, hey, can you go do some sort of research? And when it comes to the topic of, hey, it's just a motion, look, if we had a motion that condemned homosexual acts, it's not a bill, folks. It's not legislation. Don't worry. No, everyone will be rising to their feet and saying, I don't think so. Not on my watch. That's not going to happen. That's outside of the purview of Canadian values.
How many legs would a dog have if you counted the tail as a leg? The answer is just 4. Just because you call a tail a leg doesn't make it a leg. If this bill passes, governments and individual Canadians will be forced to call a tail a leg, nothing more.